Morning guys, 28th of October, got a little wet weather coming in at the moment. I'm just going to spin you around. So I've just got a small window this morning, about maybe an hour or two if I'm lucky, to get on with a few more jobs. So one of these jobs is to get this beetroot into storage. So I've already started that process, so I've got a tub there that's probably, I don't know, it's got about 30 odd beetroots in it. And this was by the way, a top tip from Steve, Seaside Allotment, of storing them in layers in moist clean wood shavings, and it absolutely works a treat, guaranteed. So I've sort of sifted through them the other day. So what I'm going to do, all these small ones, I'm going to take them home today, and things like this that I don't know whether that's been slug or what, but I'm going to take all those home because they're less, you know, likely to store the full winter, I suppose, if they're slightly damaged or something. But these here, I'm going to do the same. I'll have to put them in a sort of larger tub. I mean, look at the size of some of these, is ridiculous. I don't know if they're going to be tough and fibrous, but absolutely enormous. These were all multi-sown. This is just variety Baltard. It's one I grow every year. It's reliable. It always does pretty well for me. So that's one of the things I'm going to do this morning. And over here we've got some chrysanthemums. I need to get some more of those in. I'll just show you those. So down in this little gap here, little space, we've got a row, 30-foot row of chrysanthemums. There's just mostly two different varieties in there. One's a spray and one's you know, one of the larger flowering types. So I'll maybe just take a couple of this under cover, and then maybe half a dozen of the pink ones. Just see if I can zoom in on those pink ones down there. They're really nice. So I'm just going to try and get half a dozen and put those into the greenhouse for protection. The rest I'll just dig up, and they can go through the chipper. This perennial sunflower needs cutting back, and again I'll put that through the chipper so it can go into the compost bin. I think the comfrey, I'm going to let that die back to feed the roots rather than harvest it. So I think, yeah, I'll just let that die back, and it can feed the roots. Just tie these raspberries in a little bit at some point. Then just quickly, here's a quick follow-up on the bud graft while I'm just noticing. You can see there was the original cordon, and I'll try to see if I can get round. It's difficult to. There's the bud graft there, look, and because it was growing out sort of like, really I should have done it on this side, but it's come here, so what I've done, I've bent it over slightly, and you can see that it's growing at a nice angle now to tie into these wires. So that's probably made 2.5 foot of growth. Here's the other one that I showed earlier. Again, that's on the right, the better side, if you will. So I just need to cut this main stem back, and that's made some really nice growth now. I've labelled it up. That's variety Millennium Orange, all the way up. So that's probably somewhere around about 5 foot of growth now. So that'll probably fruit next year. It's done very well. So the other day I pulled out all these metal stakes. This is 6mm mild steel bar, which I use to support the chrysanthemums. I used to use bamboo, but they go rotten all the time. These are much better. And what I do is I get some down plastic guttering, drill a hole and put a zip tie through this hole here, and then I just store them in there and then they're just nicely out of the way, just handy to get to. So I've got another one to put on this side at some point to put the rest of them in. With regards to the fruit trees that I'd grafted, the ones that are 2 years old, so these are examples here. At some point I need to go over to the micro orchard and just figure out where I'm going to plant them, because what I'm doing is replacing the dwarfing stock with, these are on MM106, a semi-vigorous rootstock. You can see there's already fruit buds on there. So so that's another job. There's no big rush, but I can do that any time over the winter, because obviously they're potted rather than bare root. And that's just another one that I've got to figure out at some point. So this is the small greenhouse. I've got all the Olga squash in now. The other three, there's 6 in total. The other 3 are up at home, which I think they're ripe now because they've kind of gone more that colour. So these will be coming home with me shortly. In these carrot boxes, I noticed that something was attacking the seedlings, and by that what I mean is I'd come and the seedling would be cut off at soil level, and this top bit would be just lying on the soil. So I think it's some kind of cutworm or vine weevil, or maybe some wireworm or something like that. So what I'll have to do is get a tarp and tip it out maybe, and see if I can find what's causing the damage. So I sowed 3 little rows here the other day just to see whether those will work, and this is the fig cutting I did with an air layer. So I'm overwintering it in the greenhouse and kind of see how that grows on next year. I've still got some nice radish to harvest. This was the other row put in a successional sowing, and to be honest, yeah, I mean, I think I might just get away with those. The only other thing really to comment on is the kale you've seen, and I need to start harvesting some of that. That's variety Jazz, is it, or Fizz? No, Fizz I think it is. I've not tried it before. And these are the spring cabbage. They're looking pretty good. There's something been nibbling the leaves a bit, but generally speaking I'm happy with the way they've progressed. And then finally we've got the Savoy cabbage. I don't know how well you can see under the mesh there, but they are developing some hearts. So again, I'm hoping that come January, that sort of time, we'll be able to have those to harvest. And then of course that's the sprouting broccoli for next spring. And these are the rose cuttings I hailed in. I've got those to plant as well. So there's still plenty going on. So anyway, I'm going to get on and get those chrysanthemum cuttings moved into greenhouse. So I'll catch you later. Okay, so just a quick refresher. This is what I do to store the chrysanthemums, roots, stools as they call them, for next year. So I've just taken out a shallow trench. This is in the greenhouse. I don't know, 4-5 inch deep maybe. So I've got, and then I've just prepared the stools. So I've cut them back, rubbed any dead leaves off, and it's just simply a matter of popping them in the trench, and then we'll backfill, and that's it. And then just pop a label in so you know what variety they are, otherwise you're going to forget, there's no question. And like I say, and then just backfill and just give them a shake to make sure that the roots have soil over them, and then I'll start watering them probably around February, mid to late February sometime, and then they'll throw shoots up from which you take next year's cuttings. So it's a bit rough and ready. I'm sure other people have far superior ways, but that's kind of just what I do, and it it works for me. All I'm wanting is just a few flowers for the house. I'm not after entering any shows or exhibitions or anything like that. So that's what works for me. So I'll bring you back in a bit. Okay, so that's it. You can see I've just filled it, backfilled. Like I say, I shook it a bit just to distribute the soil around the roots, and I've just put a label in so I know next year what's what. So I'll go and show you the row where I took them out from. So they're all out now, and funny, isn't it? I forgot as I was digging them out. I came across the this is the cordon gooseberry. It gets so busy, things just get overlooked. But I'll try and shift the camera angle a bit. But yeah, as you can see, that is a cordon. You know, it was only a demonstration thing, and I didn't expect him to do massively well. But there's a foot of growth on there. So what I'll probably do is dig that up and pot it up, and then we'll continue its journey. I think it'd be worth following up that. I did two more, there's one there. So obviously these haven't done well, but you can see the general idea. There is a leading shoot coming up on that one. And again, what I can do is cut it there where it forks and just let that become the sole leader, so that would make a cordon. And you could even do it with that, again just cut it off there and let this one here grow up. So, but I'm not going to bother with those, I just wanted it for demonstration, so I will keep this one going. I'll pot it up like I said, and we'll follow its journey. So I managed to get the perennial sunflower cut back, and as I said, I've got a place where I can put them to keep them relatively dry until I get a chance to put it all through the chipper. Nice good woody material for the compost pile. So by the looks of things, I don't think I've got much longer before we're going to get a lot of rains. In fact, I don't know if you can make that out. You can actually see it coming down there. So I'm going to say thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll leave it here. Don't forget, thumbs up, comment, please subscribe, and remember to ring that notification bell so you'll be reminded of when I've uploaded, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.